Okay, hello, and my name is Martin, and today what we're going to be doing is setting up the first area of where the character is going to start and where the level in the portfolio will start. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to see where my first person character is. So I'm going to go over here to the world outliner, click on first person character, double click on him, and that's what I was afraid of. He's halfway dug into the wall. So let's pull him out just a little bit. There we go. Alright, so now I know, oops, now I know what corner my character is in. So let's grab these two walls, bring them a little bit closer. Okay, and this one I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. And with this one, if you want, you can go ahead and kind of make it a little bit longer. Okay, that'll probably be fine. Remember that you're going to be able to adjust this later to make it, to personalize it, make it a little bit more your own. So however close, just make sure obviously that your character can walk through that area. I'm going to give that a little bit more space, and let's pull that out just a little bit more. Okay. So now that I have that, if I was to push play, this is what I'd be seeing. I'd be seeing a wall in front of me with a wall down there at the end. And from here, I would now have another space that's behind that wall. Now, for me, that was a little bit too far to walk, so I'm going to actually cut that size down just a little bit. Again, personal taste. Let's do something like that, and I'll just make it a little bit smaller. There we go. So now I'm going to push play. Alright, that feels pretty good. I want that wall a little bit closer. And I'm just being nitpicky here. Okay, just for my own personal taste. There we go. Alright, so I want the wall pretty close because I want to be able to see the name and not have to like walk up to the wall to be able to see the name. Alright. So, with this, if you go back to the center, you should have this text that's here. If you don't see the text, come over here to the world outliner and type in text, and you should see a template. If you click on that, that is the words that were there on the screen that said first person template. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab that and shift it over to the area where we were just at. Okay. We are then going to rotate this, so I'm going to hit the space bar. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees forward on the green axis, right? And if I look at that, let's space bar, push it up, and then push it against the back wall. And let's get it pretty close. Okay, so not disappearing behind, but just in front of. Okay. Alright, so the first thing we see obviously is the words are too big. So if I click on it again and I go and let's say get out of the world outliner and come over here to the details panel, I can see there that I can actually change the words. So let's type in your first name, space, last name. And if I click somewhere else, okay, so the words are now there. Now at this point, the words for me are still just a little bit big. Because this is text and it's a vector image, we can come over here to scale, and let's do 10 by 10 by 10 in the scale. Maybe a little bit too small. Let's do 13 by 13 tab by 13 tab by 13 tab. Okay. So obviously you can make the words the size that you want. You can sit there and readjust this, put them in the area, but I like to have it to where when I push play, it's the first thing that I see, right? So Martin Hansen. All right, from there, what we're going to do is select it again, and we're going to hit Control-C, Control-V. That's going to make a copy, and we're going to drag that one down. With this one selected, we're going to click on it, and let's type this in as portfolio. Okay. Click outside the box, click back in. That now has become what it is. And now we have Martin Hansen portfolio. Now I have blue letters on a somewhat gray-blue background, so they're not sticking out very well. So what I'm going to do is with portfolio, I'm going to scroll down and look for the color. So I can double click on the color. That'll open up the color picker. And now I can select the color that I want. So I want a yellow because it's nice and bright. I can then come down here to where the blackness is and make this more yellow. And then I can grab that and make it even more yellow. So at this point, I'm about as yellow as I can be. And let's see how much that does. Okay, that didn't make it very yellow. Looks like I got a golden yellow. Now if you want, you can look at the numbers down here where you see the hexadecimal value for the color that I just picked. So that happens to be FFFF00FF. So if I do this and hit Control C and copy that, I can then go to the other one. And here I don't have to almost pick the same color. I can just come down here to the bottom, go to the end, hit delete, and Control V to paste and enter. And now I have exactly the same color yellow. Okay, so pick the color that you think is going to be better for you. Later, obviously, when we start talking about materials, we can do a glowing thing so that looks like neon lights or something like that. You can always come back in and change it later and make the portfolio look more like what you want it to. But for right now, your name, the Ward's portfolio, and the next thing we want to do is we're going to make one more copy of this. Control C, Control V. We're going to then scooch that off to the side, and we are actually going to put it against this wall. So when they turn around, they're going to then see more words. So I'm going to hit the space bar to rotate it. Let's make that 90 degrees. And then we're going to hit space bar again. And here what we want, instead of it saying our name, let's put it in there as a visitor center, or welcoming or welcome center, or whatever makes sense for you. So visitor center. Okay, because we made a copy with the same color, it kept the color the same, so we didn't have to worry about the color, and the size is fine. Alright, so now with that done, what I'd like to do is make the arrow that we did in class. So this is going to be using a shape or a combination of shapes. In this case, we're going to actually be using our static meshes, and we're going to create a arrow. So then that way we point people in that direction. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab a cube. That cube I am going to need to reshape. So let's grab the scaling, and let's grab one of these and make it, let's say 0.5 tab 5. Is that not going to let me? Here we go. Let's go the other direction. Let's make the Y thinner, and let's make this also a 0.5 or a 0.2. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to make this one a 0.2 also. Alright, so if I pull that out, you can see that, well, I'm a little 0.2, but close enough. Anyways, so what I've done is from that square box, I've made something that's somewhat more rectangular. I did it up here by using the scale tools. Obviously, if you were down here, you could have dragged any number of these forward, up, down, there, and we would accomplish the same thing. Now, the next thing that we need is the pointy part of the arrow. If we look over in basics, we see a cone, but that's not necessarily a pointing arrow. So what I want to do is, let's grab another cube. I'm going to stick that out in front of the other one where the arrow should be. And if I come over here to static meshes and I type in, or I click on where the cube is, I could scroll down until I saw a pyramid, and there's actually one of them right there, but there's actually two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the first couple of letters for pyramid, and there is a quad pyramid which has got a square base, and there is a tri-pyramid which has got a triangular base. So you can grab either one of them, but if I select one, you'll see that it turns into that object. So it went from being a cube to being this shape. So what I'm getting at is you can drag shapes out there and then change their shapes later. From here, let's go ahead and rotate this 90 degrees this direction, so then that way it's actually pointing the way that we want it to. And let's now attach the base end of this to the other. So let's grab that, move it this direction. Let's line that up. Line that up. Ooh, that's close. Let me slow down my camera so I'm not speeding around all over the place. Okay, that's pretty close. Okay. I'm actually pretty happy with that. That seems to be right where I needed to. It's right in the middle of the thing. The only thing at this point now is that part of the arrow is in the floor, so let's resize this. Let's make it a little bit smaller this way. Let's look down. Now let's move it up. Alright, pretty cool. I like that. That works out for me. Okay, so what we're going to do is speed up the camera now, zoom back out, and I'm going to grab one piece, and I know again I have the piece selected because I can see the yellow outline, and then I'm going to hold shift on my keyboard and select the other one. And now what's happened is that I have both of the pieces selected together, and I can move them as a unit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of half leave it in, half leave it out, so then that way it kind of looks like a little decal on the wall. So let's push play, and let's see what that looks like. So we can see now that I have an arrow. I got kind of a little bit of that arrow, the tip of it cut out, so I might pull that out a little bit more to get the arrow back out. I could also tilt the arrow, or yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. But okay, so we have my name, last name, portfolio. Come over here to Visitor Center. It's telling me to go this way. And this is where the house that we're going to, or the interior space with the lighting, which is the interior space being part of Project 1 and the lighting being part of Project 2. So this is where that area is going to take place. So let's fix that arrow real quick, and then we'll close this tutorial out. Okay, so all I'm doing is changing the angle a little bit, and let's push play and see if that looks better. Alright, very cool. So I got kind of like, well, I could, you know, nitpickiness, I can then go back and get that to get where the arrow lines up right with the wall, but you know, you may not even, your arrow might look slightly different. So I just, you know, I wanted it to look nice. Anyways, okay, so there's that, and when we get back, we're going to make the little interior space. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.